Hello. Welcome back. All right. So, got a cool thing from this book this morning I was reading. And, okay, just let me read it. If you take a thing like a stone or a tree, it is what it is, and there seems no sense in saying it ought to have been otherwise. Of course, you may say a stone is the wrong shape if you want it to use it for a rockery, or that a tree is a bad tree because it does not give you as much shade as you expected. But all you mean is that the stone or the tree does not happen to be convenient for some purpose of your own. You are not, except as a joke, blaming them for that. Why am I bringing this up? Because the word does not, the part of the sentence that says does not happen to be convenient for some purpose of your own. And that is how you ended up labeling it as a bad or wrong or not right or just different, whatever. You labeled the experience as wrong because it was not convenient to a purpose of your own, or the expectations you hold for that rock or that tree. Now you're not allowing that rock or tree be what it is. You have an expectation of convenience for that rock or tree to support and fit your particular needs. But you want that without communication, without, you can't change the tree. You can't make it provide more shade. You could make that rock the shape you need it to be, and that would be the communication aspect of it. I'm bringing this up because I have a feeling we do this a lot. The difference between expectation and convenience, labeling an experience due to preconditions of utility. I can't read my own writing. Now, why is it that everything is of service to you and utilitarian in some way? Preconvictions of utility, right? I'm bringing this up because we do this with people a lot. And I really kind of want to touch on that because I don't think we understand the harm we're doing, causing others to kind of doubt and second guess who they are as a person, because the way you've imagined them due to your convenience and your needs of convenience and expectation isn't actually the person that's right in front of you. And then because of those expectations to fulfill a personal convenience, we have a miscommunication, a disconnect, where we will then feel let down, hurt, abused maybe even, when that person doesn't meet the expectation of convenience, of that personal convenience. Not everybody is you. And that's going to go vice versa as well. People will imagine you to be what they need to suit their convenience. And when you do not meet that expectation, you did not do anything wrong. They built up a story and a narrative in their mind without co-writing it with you. That's what communication is co-writing the shared experience you're about to have with that person. In turn, learning what the true expectations you can have from that person. My friends know they can come to me to like release tears and like get comfort and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's an expectation. That's fine. because that's something that even if I'm not having a good day, even if I'm having a bad day or a low energy day, it don't matter. I can still hold you in a hug. You know what I mean? So that's that's an okay, because that's who I am authentically. So it doesn't matter if you hold me to that expectation. That's something that I will always be able to fulfill. Because expectation's not bad to have, but honest expectation is the difference between willfully blind and causing your own problems to accepting the facts as they are and working with the information that it's attainable to you. Also, not everybody is built to handle the totality of your needs. But yet you can still be friends with a bunch of people that don't understand the totality of your needs. Yeah. However, right. Just as long as no one's expecting you to be different than what you're bringing to the table. I think I made that confusing. Another thing, why do we assume that people are for utility, to meet a personal convenience? People are not tools. They're not the answer to problems. Just because you know somebody who knows how to make you laugh doesn't mean that person has to make you laugh every single day. People ebb and flow. They fluctuate. And we have these expectations on people, and when they don't meet those expectations, we write them off as villains. They're villains. They could not meet my need. That's a villain. They can't agree with what I'm saying. Villain. But that's because of the narrative you created in your mind without the co-author involved. If you got the co-author involved before you made the narrative, then you would know not to place an expectation of personal utilitarian convenience on that person. Nobody owes you shit. I mean, except for like the dude who owes you money. Like, you go get your money back, but also cut him out of your life if it's becoming a problem. But no one has to understand you. No one has to accept you. No one has to validate you. No one has to do that. No one has to do that. No one is obligated. No one is obligated to understand you. No one is obligated to accept you. No one is obligated to validate you. Are those things nice? Of course they are. It's what helps us grow and heal as human beings. Can you expect that from every single shell of a person that makes up this entirety of the species? Hell no! And learning that is what saved my life. Because I walked around expecting everyone, and here, even as a victim, you can have false expectations. I expected everyone to treat me with a form of humility and softness and care, even without knowing me. However, that's not the energy that I was vibrating at. I wanted care, yet I'm ripping a cigarette. I wanted softness, yet I'm yelling at the cashier at Walmart. But at the time, I wanted people to not see that. Don't feel that. I want you to know that that's from unresolved trauma. I'm calling for help. I'm yelling, I need help. You see how much of a disservice that is to yourself? Just assuming that people are going to read deeper than the vibrational output you're putting off. No one's job is that. You're presenting a certain vibrational frequency. That is who I am accepting as who you are in the moment in front of me. Unless you want a co-author. You want to sit down with me and explain all of these things. The reason I'm this, and this is because this, and that. That's great, because then I will co-author back. I understand and I validate that that's why you are the way you are. However, can't treat me like that. This is the importance of communication, no expectations, and basically that. No expectations and communication. Because then I can tell you, hey, buddy, I feel for you. That sucks. I went through something similar. I feels you. But that passive-aggressive attitude that you're throwing my way, or the anger that you're throwing my way, or whatever it is, like the injustice I feel I'm receiving from you because of your injustice, from your personal experiences with injustice, does not fly with me. See, when we do things like this, we eradicate expectation, which expectation is an effing prison. It's a prison. It's, first of all, it's made up because you didn't co-author with anybody. So you just invented what you're expecting from this person. And then you get upset when they don't follow through. So is expectation good? No, it's a prison. It's keeping you stuck because then you can't escape that narrow view and be able to see, oh, I have no expectations for someone, which also means maybe I have to learn how to handle this on my own. Maybe I have to find better tools to express what's going on with me so that I can get that validation that I'm looking for. We cannot expect anything, though. Now, that's different. If a friend tells you, yeah, I'm going to beat you here at 9 a.m. and then they don't show up, well, and I had an expectation of you showing up because that's a co-author. See, are you seeing the difference? You set up the plan, you created the narrative together, and then someone backed out. That's pissed. That's cause for further communication. If that happens 3 times, then they get cut out of your life. Because when you take the time to co-author an expectation and you both agree upon that expectation and then that person does not show up for you, how many more times are you going to go out of your way to clearly and concisely express yourself and be let down? I personally only do 3. On the 3rd one, you're out. You get communication twice. And then I'm gone. Why? Because stop making up a version of me that doesn't exist. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing me an injustice. You're doing yourself an injustice. And now you're pissed and upset and all for what? Lack of communication. Lack of co-authoring expectation. You're allowed to do it together. You are. Boundaries are co-authored expectations, correct? Hey, home dog, I don't appreciate A, B, and C. It's all right. You didn't know, though. So, moving forward, can we facilitate that? Boom. Expectation has been planted. So, co-authored expectations, yes. Non-communicated expectations, go sit down. Go back home and do that again. You didn't do it right. Labeling an experience due to prior... I still don't know where that word is. Prior preconditions of utility. Why are you looking to use someone or something? How about we look at it how can I co-author this story with this person? Or how can I co-author? How can I become a part of? Because we're all one. It's not like you need more of a utility than someone else. We're all on the same page here. We're all seeking the same thing. which in my opinion is just lack of communication, because literally when I find out there's strife and I go right into the middle of it and just clearly communicate the facts, the strife goes away. And it baffles me that no one else wants to try this. You know, like, I get uncomfortable. I don't like seeing it. And you watch it devolve, you know, and you're watching it because people are building false narratives and expectations that they're not communicating or co-authoring. And now, and here's the thing, guys. Interpersonal relationships are, like, super hard to do after trauma. They are. They're extremely hard. But you know what, like, the solution is? Dialectical behavior skills. Why is that taught in trauma recovery groups? I was in one, women's trauma and addiction group, and that was the biggest thing we touched on, was how to communicate our worlds to others, because our worlds aren't always freaking correct, because we have all these in-laden traumas and trigger responses, and we do see the world with a certain kind of veil. So we learned that we're wrong. We are wrong. We are not perceiving life and reality correctly. We are perceiving life and reality based off of our filter of trauma from our past, and we are not always correct. So it was a huge thing. We practiced it all day long. I feel blank. I feel this way because. And because of that realization, and when I got out of a group like that, when I kept moving on with my life after that and utilizing these skills, I started to realize that even people without trauma are not doing this. They are not having these interpersonal effective communication skills with people and causing trauma. And that opened my eyes to, like, the cyclical pattern of trauma. And not all of it. There's not all trauma can be avoided with communication, but a lot of it can. Because there's a lot of accidental trauma out there too, because of our own tunnel vision of self and our own expectations due to our conveniences and our needs of utility. And we hurt other people having that expectation for them. Why can't they just live their life, you know? And it's because we're hurt. And we want people to just know and understand. But here's the thing, guys. This is why we have a throat chakra and the ability to communicate speech. Why else would we be given this gift if to squander it with false narratives? We've got language, we've got communication skills, we have the blessing of being able to create vibrational frequencies with our own larynx, which is incredibly healing. You can use that as transcendental chant meditation healing, like yada, 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 lots of different things. This is a healing tool. So heal your interpersonal relationships with effective communication. No more false narratives. No more expectations of convenience. Co-author these stories you write in your head, because a lot of the time you might not be correct and you're hurting yourself, building up a villain in your story that doesn't exist. Yeah, I've done it too. I mean, like, I'm lecturing, but at the same time, like, it's not... The only reason I know this is because I obviously did this too much. So now I'm like, I'm damn clear. Like, hi, my name's Lex. Like, I have pain. Hi, my name's Lex. I have witty jokes because I have trauma. Like, I don't know. That's another thing too. we got to stop pretending like we are the narrative that other people create. Because what if they create a narrative that kind of puts you on a pedestal and you kind of like that pedestal? You kind of like being up there, but you can't be that consistently because that's not you authentically, whatever narrative they built. And so you feel like you let them down because you can't be that version all the time. And that is why I find it to be extremely empowering to roll up my sleeves and not hide any of who I am. If I'm feeling anxious, I let someone know, hi, I'm experiencing feelings of anxiousness right now. I will get through this. I just need you to know. I literally just did this with the eye doctor, and like everybody in the eye doctor, all the optometrists were just like awesome. They were like, yeah, no worries. But thank you for communicating with us that. And they all put smiles on their faces. They all slowed down. They started to talk to me a little bit more concise and clear with eye contact. That makes me feel incredibly empowered. I don't feel a lack of power. That's a struggle and a vulnerability of mine that I am able to overcome if I communicate that struggle with the room. If I hide that struggle, it eats me up. And I make mistakes. The first time I did it, I walked out with the wrong freaking prescription. Because I was just like, yeah, slide 1 looks great. We're just going to go with slide 1 because I'm amenable. Like, so when I went home and I had a big cry about it because I was like, why did I do that? Why did that happen? And then why did it feel so daunting to make another appointment? Why was this such a hard thing? And I traced it back to my traumas and I traced it back to my PTSD and I was able to understand it and work with it. But then I'm not going to shove it back down. No, I already got it out. It's here. It's workable now. So now I'm going to carry it because it's not over yet. I'm not completely healed yet. I made the awareness. Here it is now. Now I'm going to bring whatever this is. I'm going to bring it into the scary place. That's how I fully heal and eradicate it. I take it. I get it out of me. I look at it, see why it's scary. Then I take it to the place that triggered me into it. And I show it the place. And I show the place it. And I'm like, all right, we got nothing to be scared about, right? But I don't know that. I logically know that, but I need to say that out loud because this is incredibly healing and it connected all of us. Everyone in that eye doctor shop, all were just like, relaxed more. It was almost like they didn't even realize they were not giving the time and attention and the slowness and the calmness that maybe they even needed to have during their day, the mindfulness. And I felt that in that doctor's office. I felt them all kind of relaxed. It's like, yeah, homies, I'm struggling. I know it ain't y'all, but like, here's my healing journey. They don't need specifics. Also, I'm carrying a vibration of positive. So you know what happens? People do show up for you. When you walk around in that negative energy, looking for help, you ain't getting it. I'm sorry to say. I did it for too long. And I'm telling you this so that you don't sit there for too long waiting. Try and transmute that negative energy you're sitting in into that of hope and positivity for your healing journey and watch how the people flock and the expectations of you drop and people just want you to show up. We just are happy you're here. Thank you. And then when you do bring a little side dish, I also brought cookies. I wrote, oh my gosh, that's so nice. We had no idea. We had no preconceived conception of an expectation. That makes me feel the best. Makes me not feel like I'm coming short or falling short when it comes to interpersonal relationships, which I know I sometimes have the tendency to do. And that's why I communicate. Just keep communicating, keep communicating. I will never expect, like, that whole eye doctor office. How could I expect them to give me the softness and nurturing I needed when I didn't tell them I had that going on? So, first time around, Didn't get that. They very much rushed me. They didn't explain anything because not everybody needs that. I do. So instead of expecting my needs to be met through silence, I advocated for those needs. Not in a dick way. Not in a, you better advocate my needs or else. No. It's just, hey guys, this is a very daunting situation for me. Based on my past, I've had previous doctor-type situations that have not gone well. And I had realized in our first encounter that I was extremely triggered. So this time around, I'm working on being a little more calm, but I also would appreciate a little bit more explanation and communication. Listen, I didn't even have to add that last part of the communication part because all I had to say was anxiety and the past and the PTSD thing. Just like, hey, had trouble with them before. I know it's not you, but I'm having trouble now getting over that here. And it went from black to white. I had everybody breaking down and explaining every minute step of this entire process. Someone else might have heard all that and been like, did you really need them to say that? It's pretty obvious. Not to somebody who is currently experiencing fight or flight tendencies. The prefrontal cortex gets shut down so that the response is now an animalistic reaction, just like an innate function, and not a response from logic. Great for when you're in a danger situation. Embarrassing trying to be at the eye doctor. But here's the thing. I don't look at it as embarrassing anymore. I don't give a shit. Because anytime I actually express and explain, nobody treats me with given embarrassment. Nobody. Just wanted to say that. I said the embarrassment thing just because it's kind of funny. But nobody treats me like that. So don't think you're going to be embarrassed. Communicate. So, right. Great for actual fight or flight moments. Not great for when you're about to drop $500 something on glasses and contacts. Right? And I thanked this one particular woman so much because she broke down everything in like it was that I actually feel like now that I'm saying this, she must either herself struggle with this or knows someone or like her daughter or something, because the way she went from this one mode and into this other mode of how she was explaining and breaking things down and the over explanation of things calmed me so well that she must have had practice in this. Like, I didn't need to explain how I needed it. She just knew. And I'm ready for that though too, because not everybody that you express your struggles to will know the right tools. That it's an optometrist, not a therapist. Not everyone is a therapist or a life coach or psychiatrist or a neuro brain psychiatric whatever, like there are people who study how to validate and respond validate and respond to those who have differently wired brains. They are learned in that. The average human being, you cannot expect them to have those tools. I had to go and learn how to validate people. I had to go and even learn what that word meant. And through those studies, you're unlocking further research on compassion and empathy, which leads you to energy healing and understanding the concept of holding space for someone and knowing when to not say something and just be there. Not everybody has gone through that. Not everybody's journey has brought them to have to understand that. And we need to have more compassion for others not understanding us, but also towards ourselves in when we need to advocate for those needs. Because why don't we? Right? I have no qualms walking up to a stranger and asking for help. Wow, I almost just started to cry over that, but we're not doing that right now because I just don't want to. So no. Because why is that bringing me to tears, making me think of feeling it right in here? Because I don't care anymore. I don't want to suffer. If I am suffering and I am in need of a human assistance, and let's say I'm in Barnes and Noble, I will, first of all, vibe out. You kind of feel out the people. You can tell who's going to be a little bit more patient or who's not. So sense that out first. And then, hi, miss. Really apologize for interrupting you while you're picking out your books. However, I'm going through a struggling experience right now. And if that has to be through a shaky voice of anxiety, let it! And then say, would you mind sitting with me for a second and talking about the book that you picked up? You don't even have to talk about you. Sometimes just just grounding. Could you sit with me for a second? Or could you lead me to a chair? I'm having a problem getting to that chair. Or could you just give me a hug even? We don't ask. The amount of rallying I received after changing my vibrational frequency, after getting out of the vibrational frequency that's ripping cigs and yelling at people, because that didn't get me any help. That made people stay far away from me, which is what I wanted because of my trauma. My trauma came from interpersonal connection. So I was like, But then I realized we can't live like that for the rest of our lives. That's trauma. Trauma isn't a life sentence. So there has even been a time where I went in to do my taxes and I felt okay. But right when I walked into the door, I lost it. If you struggle with anxiety, you know what I'm talking about. So I went up, and I don't even know this was 5 or 6 years ago, so I don't even remember what the trigger was. And I went up to her, and I was trying to, pay. And I'm trying to do the thing, and I'm trying to ask the question, but I can't say the words because the prefrontal cortex is getting slowly shut down. And I just went, I just need a minute. I struggle with anxiety. I apologize for the inconvenience. And I was trying to do more talking. She goes, no. I understand. You take as long as you need. When have you been in a situation where someone's come up to you and expressed to them that they're struggling and you responded with, well, struggle harder, biatch, I'm out? I've never had that experience. If someone's walked up to me and was just honest, I need help in this moment. This is what I need help on. I'm if anything, I'm blown away by the courage, the communication, the clarity, the advocation of needs. Yes, what do you need? Granted, your time is still of value, so you can lend 5 minutes though. You know what I mean? It's really just that sometimes. I'm not saying you're supposed to drive somebody to work or anything. That's a lot. But I mean, if a stranger were to come up and need a little love in the middle of nowhere, sure, I'd totally carve out 5 to 10 minutes of my day for that. And why I said that is so that you can get more comfy practicing that yourself. No one turns down somebody when they actually express what they need. Now, I don't know I don't know about your family. I don't know about your friends. But I'm telling you because I didn't really lean on either of those groups during my times. Now, yes, but at the time, we didn't really have that good of a relationship, family-wise. So, no, going there would not have validated my needs. Instead of sitting in the negative swamp that is helplessness, I decided I'm gonna get the help from strangers then. You know, I knew that there were certain things I wouldn't have been able to come to certain people about, and that's fine. I don't really need to vent my story. I just need support. So that's a good place I'm at now with my family and my friends. But at that time, I didn't have the communication tools. I didn't have the healing that I do now. So going to my family was not the vibe. We would probably just kind of argue, or maybe something sad would happen, or maybe I was too scared to go because I felt so misunderstood by them at the time. But whatever the case is, that doesn't mean you now just don't get support. Get it elsewhere. Go find it. There's been a time I've been so depressed that I went to a diner with a book just to chat. I didn't sit at a table. I sat at like the bar where all the waitresses and waiters will go to like fill up coffees and teas and stuff, so I could shoot the shit. Talk about my book a little bit. And they're working for tips, so they're giving me some attention, you know what I'm saying? It's not up to others when our healing journey begins. It's up to us. And the tools are all out there. You're not limited. And if you do have an expectation of convenience, you do need utility, a tool. Communicate it. Co-author it. Hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm struggling with this. I would like some company. Or whatever. Hey, I struggle with depression. Kind of feeling down today. I appreciate you talking to me about my book. And that's how you heal the world too. Because now that waitress knows that she could use that skill. Wow, I'm allowed to tell people about those inner scary things? I'm allowed to advocate for myself and ask strangers for support? Holy crap, that's mind-blowing. Because it is mind-blowing, and it's also true. Co-author. Use your communication skills, home dogs. The answer is always no unless you ask. The answer is always no unless you ask. Just wanted to repeat that again. And also, there's like billions of people out here. Like, a lot. So if you get one unfavorable response, who cares? Try someone else. Go hunting. Go look for the little old ladies who will freaking fill you the shit up. Like, if I'm really not feeling good, I will hunt old ladies in the supermarket. And I'll be like, do you need help out to your car? And if no, it's okay. I'll see you out there. Like, I don't care. I'm helping you. Why not? That's what helps my depression personally. Well, I'm not going to label it as mine. That's what helps when I have feelings of depression. When I go to the grocery store, I know them. Not we don't hang out outside of the grocery store, but everywhere I go, I have somehow communicated a bit about myself. Maybe not always in terms of what I struggle with, but people know me because I walk in and I'm like, hey, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. Did you dry your hair? That looks great. And I create a rapport. Why? Because my mental health relies on walking into a store and having like people be like, hey, didn't I just see you in here the other day? What'd you forget? Like, that simple, small interaction makes me feel seen, validated, heard, not alone, alive, able to live. Oh my God, I'm a real person. I'm being perceived. People remember me. Lady the other day noticed my haircut. I said, thank you so much for noticing that. I notice you all the time, and it's so good to feel like people notice me back. I'm not looking for attention. That's not what I'm saying. It's that deep heart connection, man. And then I went up to the register, and the other girl was like, first it was horses, now you're on... Or no, first it was lemurs, and then you went to monkeys, and now you're buying a horse magazine. And I'm like, I get hyperfixated on animals. What can I say? Big laugh, everybody has a good time, and then I leave. Like, that's for me. Yeah, I enjoy doing that for others as well, but the original intention is it's for me. Because my own mental health has the tendency to sometimes isolate me, tries to show me things that aren't true about life. That's my mental health, and that's okay, but I acknowledge it. I am aware of it, so I do what I can in my waking days to advocate for my needs. Not everybody needs to know that's what I'm doing, but I'm setting up a map. I am setting up an environment that will support those needs. I go to the same Weiss every single time I grocery shop. I go to the same CVS all the time. I go to the same coffee shop. I go to the same... Now, I'm open to trying new things. I am. But my routine is set to help my mental health. Now, if my friends have an idea of a different coffee shop they want to try, or a different restaurant, or something new, I will gladly go, and I will do the same thing that I do in all of my usual spots and set up familiarity within that situation. I will try to get friendly with the waiters and waiters, or try to make the owner laugh, or whatever, because the familiarity and the comfort of feeling like a family, or feeling like that comfortability of being known by people in a good way. Like, oh, hey, where do I know you from? Oh, didn't I just see you at that restaurant? Yeah, how was the rest of that night? That, oh my God, an interaction like that, like, saves lives. And it's so simple. And I'm doing it because it's what I need. So then I'm setting up these scenarios for people to recognize or remember. I'm not doing it for attention. It's doing it for the hug feeling that it gives me. I feel like I'm a hug. I feel loved. I love it. And once I find a place and I like everybody in there, like, oh shit, I will go back there so much for like no reason. Like, my friend works at a flower shop, and now that I go in there and say hi to her, and now I just like talk to all her coworkers too. So now I have no problem. Like, I'll just go in there sometimes. I'm just like, hey, even if she's not there, I'm just like, what's up? Just saying, hey, I was here. Because why not? It helps my mental health. It's an advocation of my needs. And it comes from self-acceptance of knowing that I have deeper needs like this. I don't hate on it. Whatever. We work together. I'm like, oh, that's your new need? That's cool. Let's go get some friends about it. You know? And I have a very small group of actual friends, but then thousands of acquaintances. Because it's something about that. Remembering you. A smile when they see you. and ask about how your boyfriend's doing or how's the house, or like, I need that. So I establish it everywhere I go. And I learned that my dad does that too. And my dad had also been through significant trauma, and I learned that from him. I remember being a kid and being like, wow, my dad is like friends with everyone. And now I'm an adult, and I get like emotional thinking about it, because like he needed that too. We want to feel important again after feeling so not important or so valueless or just so hurt for so long. We just want to feel that love. And you're not going to get that walking around in the helpless negative vibes, in the anger vibes, in the resentful vibes, because then you're going to push away people who could potentially help you because you're scary. I didn't know I was scary, but then I look back on those times and I was like, oh, an unnecessary amount of scariness. And I still feel bad about yelling at that lady. But I guess this is kind of tying into why we self-accept, and then why we go and kind of in a way like force other people to accept. Like, hey, you haven't thought about this in a while? I'm here. Think about it. Because now if I have a bad day, I can utilize that Weiss or that flower shop or whatever other places around town that I've established. I can use them to get out of that negative energy. I can utilize these as tools and tactics to transmute energy. And I now have extra confidence to go in there and say, yeah, I'm actually, usually usually I'm real upbeat, but like today, not really the vibe. Why? I struggle with PTSD and I'm having a hard day with it today. What if the girl I'm talking to also struggles with that? And me being authentic and honest about it in that moment, which is me helping myself by getting seen by someone, helps her be seen. And she goes, oh my God, I struggle with that too. I totally know what you mean. I actually didn't even sleep last night because I was terrified to go to sleep because of the nightmares I've been having. And then, oh my God, I will hug you. I will hold you. And we will both just be like, yeah, fuck, right? But it's all right, because we're getting through it together. I don't even know you and we're getting through it together. Yeah, it's scary at first, but then it's so freeing. It's so freeing. So freeing. And I learned this because I didn't always have friends. I didn't always have a support system. I didn't always have expectation of convenience on people because I didn't have people. So you learn how to establish a community, establish tools, establish a routine structured for your mental health. I think that was the blessing the universe, God, was giving me by taking away everyone in my life. Because he's like, you can't lean on people all the time. Because what I was doing was having the expectation of convenience. And I was pushing people away. I didn't realize that. Due to my lack of communication, my lack of co-authoring my expectations for that friendship, yeah, I messed it up too. Even though I was a victim, I still had my hand in messing up further messing things up. And I'm not owed grace. Only I can bestow that upon myself and God. So I had to learn this stuff. And I learned how to communicate these needs in a way that doesn't come off super scary. That can just get the support I need in that moment. And it can be from a stranger. It can be from anyone. pretty cool. All you gotta do is learn to co-author your expectations. Communicate and advocate for your needs. And stop being ashamed of your needs. Who cares? Who cares? It's what you need. Just do it. Right? Like, it's like complaining about brushing your teeth every day. Like, sure, yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But, like, I like having nice teeth. Like, right? Like, it's scary sometimes, but I like having a good mental health, so I do it. Who cares? I really don't know why you would care about any of what other people think, because they're not living with your pain. It's you living with your pain. So what do you got to do to make that pain just a tad bit less? Or just, how about this? More manageable. Because the more you manage it, the more it does go away. The more you give it what it needs, instead of trying to hide it and suppress it and lock it down, and you get it out, you receive. You will receive. But yeah, word to the wise. Stop making those false narratives, because you're only hurting yourself. Because you don't know until you communicate. So just try it. I like to just like kind of keep this all like derpy, like real just empty like up here, right? And I just kind of respond to things as they happen in my present, because that's really good for my mental health personally. It's just very helpful. It keeps my nervous system chill, and it's good for me. So but then if I feel something's off, I will go into it and I will communicate. But other than that, I'm not going to know anything unless you communicate it with me, because I'm not doing that anymore. That's a trauma response when you are hypervigilant and you're walking on eggshells and you're reading everybody's energy. That's trauma. Yeah, I used to be really good at it, but guess what? That ain't my job no more. So like, if you're mad, you don't like what I said, or you think I was trying to be insulting, then you got to break it down and you got to come to me about it. That's why no false narratives, bro. That's the whole thing. Because, like, not everybody sits there and overthinks every interaction that they're having. You know, like, I used to do it and it literally killed me. Like, it literally brought my mind into such mush. And, like, no, we can't go rock bottom over people anymore. Because what rock bottom looks like is me alone with nothingness. So, like, why are we sacrificing anything for the other people around us, you know? Yeah, like, why are we... Yeah. I forgot where I was going with that, but no false narratives, because, and no people, that's like, I guess, like people pleasing in a way, but not really, because you think it's like, you know, it's a you thing, so you're like holding it in, but it doesn't help. Gotta communicate everything. I don't know, people tell me I talk too much. But guess what? I don't care, because like nobody misunderstands me unless they're committed to misunderstanding me. So if somebody continues to misunderstand me, I cut them out, because how the hell do you still not understand me when I literally explain myself over and over and over again and 1,000 different ways for you to approach it? Like, so I like it. I don't care. I used to have that report card that always was like, it's a pleasure to have in class. Never shuts up, though. Can't get her to stop talking. It'd be great if you could get your child to be quiet. Like, but God gave me this gift for a reason, and it's for ultimate personal use, because it helps my mental health more than it helps other people, I think. So, I don't care. Make fun of me. Tell me I talk too much. You know? Oh, Lex, the girl with the gift of gab? Hell yeah, I got the gift of gab. Because I will never stop explaining myself to myself. I'll never stop learning about who I am and explaining that to myself. Okay, I see that thought there. I see that it's a little bit of an overreaction. Here's the right response over here, but it just doesn't feel really authentic. So how can I merge these two, the overreaction plus the underreaction, to find my middle ground of appropriate reaction, of appropriate response? And as me explaining myself to myself, yes, you have the tendency to overreact when angry. However, we're not going to feed that. We're going to meet in the middle. And then we're going to explain that to myself. Because no, Lex. We don't yell anymore. Because yelling at people has only ever hurt you in the end. You're too sensitive and soft of a soul to be yelling. So then why are we yelling? Why are we yelling? Do we feel scared? Do we feel like we have to get louder than the situation because we're feeling powerless in this scenario? Are we yelling because we're actually yelling at someone from 8 years ago who did something really bad to you, and this person's kind of shadowing that, but not with the full intensity? Right. There's so many self-conversations you need to have before you do anything. And I'm cool with doing that with myself. Out loud, too. Hearing your own voice, utilizing the throat chakra vocal cords, feeling the vibrations. It's very healing. So not only should you not be having false narratives with lack of co-authoring and interpersonal connections and relationships, you should also not have a false narrative of who you are and constantly have a communication with yourself about why you're having certain emotional reactions or why you're feeling a certain way in a way that doesn't seem to match what's happening in reality. These are great conversations to have out loud with yourself, with others. Get practicing with yourself. It'll get easier to do with others. Yeah. I will never shut up. Yeah, man. I mean, like, yeah, I was about to say, like, the typical, like, bumper sticker, communication is key, but, like, can't sign off on a cheesy tagline like that. But, yeah, communication's key. Throat chakra healing is, like, everything, man. Because even your own inner world cannot be fully understood without personal communication with self. So, communicate with everybody. Oh, and then here's another thing too. Don't get mad. Okay, I'm saying this like more for myself because I've been practicing this lately. Because like I actually have people in my life that are good, healthy, and love me. So when all of a sudden they don't understand what I said, and I wanna yell at them because I'm assuming they're choosing not to understand me because I'm assuming they're choosing to make it difficult for me because that's what people did to me in my past just to like see me get riled up and then like laugh at me. So fucked up. I just take a deep breath because I'll feel it. My face will start vibrating. I'll be like I take a huge breath, feel it in my chest, and I go, I understand how that could be confusing. Let me try a different way to kind of explain myself. And I get like really like this, like real calm, real chill. No big jumps of inflection in my tone, just like. So I just was hoping that this and then walk away too. People don't owe you an immediate response. Let it sink in. Let it marinate. Just trust that you did your best to effectively communicate, and that's all you need to do. Walk away. Yeah. All right. I'm like zoning out. I got so many different things I could go off with this, but like, no, because I'm going to forget what I've already said. I'm not good at making really long ones like this. All right. Have a great day, guys. It's Broome County, so it's doing Broome County stuff. But if you're elsewhere in the world or in America or wherever you're at, I hope you're having sunshine and stuff and really starting to feel the effects of late spring. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.